Good afternoon from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers and I'm in the yard right now. So y'all know the whole deal. You know all about our water struggles. We actually have plans to begin drilling a well on Friday. Super excited about that. But we don't know exactly how long that process is going to take or how long it's going to take before we have pumps and all of those things going. So what we are doing is, for now, we are going to be putting in some things here in the yard. Probably going to be starting with squash, zucchini, and stuff like that. And those are all things that we plant, and then we get to harvest them within just a few weeks, really. I told you we're probably not going to be doing any more tomatoes this year. It just takes too long on the turnaround on those. But Brandon has got the tiller running right now, and he is breaking up a place for us to plant these things. The first thing we did was kind of water this chunk so that it's already a little bit wet, a little bit softer for him to start with. It was kind of too small to bring the tractor in. We didn't really want to mess with loading the tractor and bringing it and all the things, so he's just going to use the tiller. He may regret that decision when he's done. It might feel bigger as he goes, but that's what he's working on right now. So we're just putting it in here in the backyard. There's the kids' little garden that they do, greenhouse, and then here's where we're going. So we're just kind of going in between these trees here. It does get some shade, but it also gets plenty of sun. The shade we have actually found is somewhat helpful for squash because those big leaves wilt over in the sun, and in the shade they kind of get a break in the afternoon, and that's useful. But that looks like it is not any fun to till. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take a long time, but hopefully we'll be able to get some seeds in even this evening. That's the plan. All right, that's about 30 minutes worth of work. This old ground is so hard. Our entire 2-acre patch is just packed tight. There is not a place here that's not packed tight. But especially as dry as it is, this is hard going. So that's about 30 minutes. He's made probably about a dozen passes in 30 minutes, and he'll be going back and forth some more, and then crisscrossing and catty corner and all the things before we're ready to plant. When we do start planting, we're going to start with some things that we already have planted in the greenhouse in some trays. Okay, these are not looking fabulous. They're really not. It has been so hard in this heat. Even with the shade cloth, it gets so hot in here. So these are kind of drying out. Our watermelons are looking decent for the most part. I think those are cantaloupe and 2 different kinds of squash here. The tomatoes, these 2 trays are doing okay, but all of those are just slowly burning to a crisp. They have enough water. Well, they may be dry now because I haven't watered them today, but for the most part, they have been staying very wet. Like you can see, these are wet. Those are wet. So those should be wet, but they are just, the heat in here is hard on them. So that's why I told you we're probably not, no, we are not doing any more tomatoes. What is in the ground is what we have for this year. But we'll start with these things going in the ground. Spunk. What you doing, dude? He's gonna plant us some oak trees in the greenhouse, apparently. But we're gonna start with these things, and we'll also direct seed some more squash and zucchini as well. All right, we didn't get done today. So this tiller has actually not been running well. Actually, it wasn't running at all until Brandon got it working again today. And so he's still got some tinkering to do, some tuning here and there. It's been running a little bit rough. And then now he has a flat tire. So the air compressor is actually at the farm, and we'll have to go over and get it in the morning. So we're calling this a day for now. But this is starting to get broke up. So what he'll do next, he's got another 10 or 12 feet to come this way, back and forth. And then he will run the tiller back and forth across this way, and then possibly diagonally as well, and get it broke up good. And then we'll do rows, and then we'll do plants. But that's where we're going to have to call it for the day. It's about 4:45. By the time we load up and go get the air compressor, we're just going to want to go to sleep if we get cool in the car. So that's it for today, and we'll attack it again tomorrow. All right, day 2 out here working on this new place in the garden, or in the yard I should say. Brandon has finished all the crossways tilling. He's going back and forth on it now. Then we're gonna scatter fertilizer, and then he'll go long ways again one more time, and that'll help us set up our rows for where we're gonna plant. So that's where we're at right now. Hopefully we'll be getting some plants and seeds in the ground this evening. Right now we're just really thankful that it's not quite as hot today as it has been. It's actually not too terrible out here right now. And there's even a little bit of shade over here where we're working right now, so that's nice. Anyways, that's where we're at right now. Hopefully we'll get something planted and get some water running on it today and get some veggies going really soon. All right, so I just finished spreading fertilizer, and Brandon's gonna till that in now while he does the cross pieces. So he'll be going across it the long way again, and that will sort of set our rows, and then I can go in and make the rows, and we'll begin planting before long, and then we'll be able to set the sprinkler up, water in the fertilizer, water up the seeds, and we'll be in business. Because we're starting with starts from the greenhouse, if all goes to plan, it'll be about a month until we're picking. But that's if everything goes to plan, and this year has not gone to plan, so we'll see how that goes. But that's where we're at for now. All right, so Brandon's done tilling. You can see the rows are the higher parts there, and then we have the walkways between. And I have started planting what was in the flats in the greenhouse. We're trying to work as quickly as possible because as dry as this ground is, any of the moisture that was in those little plugs as we put them out is just sucking out of them very quickly. So we're trying to get everything in and then get the sprinkler going. I am currently planting kind of a variety of seeds in this row here. This is, let's see, that end is patty pans, right here is butternut, and then I'm gonna do just some little like tiny ornamental pumpkins that we planted before and they have died. So I'll get those done. But this is unfortunately not something I'm very coordinated to be able to show y'all what I do. I'll try, but I'm not that good at it. So, I am putting out 2 seeds at a time right now because it's dry and I don't know what our germination rate's gonna be. So I'm just gonna take these. That's as deep as I'm going. Squash do not have to go very deep. So you just take them and put them right under your shadow and hope people can see them and poke them in. Like, that's literally all I'm doing. So that's what I'm gonna do to finish out this row, and then we'll move to the next variety. Okie doke. We just finished planting. Well, I say finished. We have 1 empty row. Brandon's gone inside to check seeds and see what we might want to put there. Otherwise, it's all out. The sprinkler is set there in the middle. So we'll start watering this. We are going to have to fight the grass in here because this was not really turf grass, but it was grass in this area. And so it's going to be weedy, but we've got watermelons, yellow squash, zucchini, we got patty pan squash, we got butternuts, we've got pumpkins, pickles, cucumbers, more pumpkins, lima beans, even more yellow squash, zucchini, and then we did decide to go ahead and plant those pitiful little tomatoes we had in trays. I kind of doubt any of them are going to make it, or not many of them anyway. Our thought was we're going to have to dump them anyway. We might as well poke them in the ground and see which ones of them live. But yeah, they're pitiful, so I don't know what they're going to do. So we're going to get this one last row planted and get the water turned on, and then this bit will be done and ready to produce so many vegetables. Alrighty, everything is planted. It's all in the ground. The sprinkler is running. I'm probably about to get wet. This is not a professional looking garden patch. It's, I mean, some of y'all have gardens this big in your backyards that you just feed your families with. But what we have learned is that planted is better than perfect. We could wait until we have the well dug, and we could wait until we have irrigation. We could have done that this spring. We could have just not planted anything until we had all those things set up. But if we waited until we could do everything exactly like we want to. If we waited until we did it professionally, we wouldn't get a lot done. So planted is better than perfect. It is in the ground, it is being watered, it will come up. We will have some squash, we will have some beans, we will have some watermelons, and we'll be back in business. And right now, that's what we need. The well situation, our neighbor with the drilling rig is all set and ready to go. We've got to pick up the pipe, and I think we're going to do that on Friday unless it's raining. And honestly, we wouldn't complain about the rain, so we would take that too. If we got rain at the garden, some of those things would come back up. Without rain, we're just waiting for the well. But in the meantime, this is here and it's ready and it's being watered, and it'll be expensive to water it with city water, but it'll grow and it'll get something. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed watching us plant this little piece. Hope you enjoyed your visit to the farm. Y'all be sure and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and come back when you can stay longer.